Claus and Frost, The Case of the Nearly Disastrous Day Before Christmas. Written by Kate Russell. Narrated by Gary J. Chambers. Jack Frost was the greatest private detective the North Pole had ever seen. At least, that's what he told himself every morning in front of the bathroom mirror. Did it really matter that he was the only detective? Ever since childhood, he had wanted to solve mysteries, and Jack had finally come to the conclusion that at the age of 704, it was time to follow his heart's desire. He tucked his childhood dream into his sleeve, crossed his heart, and took a wintry deep breath. Jack decided he could use a partner. Ever since his older sister, older by mere decades, Iphigenia, had married Santa Claus centuries ago, he'd missed spending time with her, even though they all lived in the winter castle together. When Jack asked Iphigenia to work with him, she barely hesitated. Although she wasn't really interested in being a detective, she insisted on supporting her brother, and it could be the only way she could rein in his love of tricks and pranks. Besides, she reasoned, she could manage the accounts for him. So Jack and Iphigenia formed a detective agency, Claus and Frost, and tried to solve holiday and fairy folk mysteries. "Age before beauty," he explained, when Santa asked why Jack put Iphigenia's name first. "Brains before brothers," she retorted, smoothing out a wrinkle in her dark red dress. Jack loved being a detective. The only problem, no one would hire him. Jack put ads in both the Holiday Creature Gazette and the Fairy Folk Banner and passed out business cards. He wore his best suit, the icy blue one that brought out his eyes. He sat at the kitchen table doodling in his notebook. "Absolutely not," Iphigenia said, scandalized when he suggested making a commercial. Jack even began trying to make the phone ring by wiggling his eyebrows, but instead he made new ice crystals form on the window outside. As Jack Frost touched his chin, snowflakes began to swirl. He just knew the snowmen were laughing at him behind their scarves. And as for the reindeer, every snort was one of disbelief. Snow and ice, he fumed. He might as well live in Lost Elf Cavern, since his business was going nowhere. Then Jack tapped his foot, and the snowflakes turned into a blizzard. Could an elf's dream die if no one else believed in it? He was beginning to think so. The night before Christmas Eve, Jack closed his eyes so tightly that he could see the northern lights behind his eyelids, and then Christmas wished as hard as he could. As Jack fell asleep,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?